Hello everyone, welcome back. It is once again the middle of the night here at my house. I have a little one sleeping next to me, so I will speak as loud as I can, but I don't want to wake him. Can't sleep. I am so exhausted, so tired, but I can't sleep. I had company twice this weekend, which was a beautiful, beautiful blessing. I had some of my company from my side of the family, some company from my husband's side of the family. And it just kind of worked out that way that we were having company back to back. Company, as you know, for anyone with chronic illness can be extremely hard. Just even having someone over to your home can be draining, exhausting, and you can pay the price for it. And so I did really well, actually, both times. Everybody was kind and gentle and respectful of what me and my family are going through at this time with chronic illness. I have chronic illness. One of my kids have chronic illness. Some of my other children are going through some stuff, and we have been really, really blessed to have an amazing family who is non-judgmental and just super kind and gentle with the entire situation. They don't, question us or, but why, or, why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? That can be really brutal sometimes, and it was just a great visit all the way around. I posted last time about the awful flares I was having last week. They have subsided just a tiny bit. Thank God, just in time. But I wanted to do a long form content video tonight and explain something that has been weighing on my mind since company left. And so I, as many of you know, I'm a Christian and I believe in God. And I want to talk about when God sets you up or prepares you way in advance for things that you never know are going to be coming down the pipeline in your life. So I did not know I was going to be chronically ill as an adult. I did not know I was going to be 90% bedbound. I did not know I was going to be essentially incurable. At the moment, I'm not counting out a miracle from God or a doctor that can help. But I didn't see any of this coming. Even when I married my husband, I didn't see any of this coming, right? But who did? God. God saw this coming, and He knew exactly what I was going to need for this season of my life. He gave me the most amazing, wonderful, supportive husband who is the best helpmate I could have ever asked for. He's loving, he's kind, he's gentle, he's all those things. And he never questions me, he never doubts, that I'm truly sick, or, why don't you just try harder, or this or that. None of that. He is my support and my rock every single day. Well, today, when my husband's family was here in town and we were talking, it turns out that one of their children also have the same thing that I do. And that was brutal. That was hard to hear. Made me sad. Made me want to cry. I don't know exactly what this person goes through, but I know what they go through. They probably feel it different than I do. It probably acts different than the way it does in my body. It could be a little similar, it could be a little different. But just to hear that someone else was suffering in the manner that I do is just gut-wrenching. But look, even amongst the hard and the gut-wrenching, look what God has done. I don't think this was an accident. I'm sorry, I don't. I think that God knew years and years and years and years and years ago, because it says He knows the number of hairs on our head. He knows the number of cells in our body. He created us from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet, right? He knew this was coming. This is no surprise to him. And I think he did this on purpose. I think he chose whom I was to marry because I was faithful in listening to him and asking him, Lord, whom shall I marry? Who do you have for me? He had to bring my husband states away to where we live now for me to be able to find him, for one. He had to put him in a teeny tiny church that not many people went to. I mean, it was a church that was not known. It wasn't some mega church. It was a church that very few people knew. Okay, and on a good Sunday, we were probably at like 50 members, if that. Okay, that includes everybody's babies and children and everything else, right? And what are the odds of that? And this church was in a odd place, in an odd neighborhood. And what did God do? He brought my husband to that church to find me. He just placed in his heart one day, you're moving, let's go. We're gonna pick you up and we're gonna move you. He's like, okay, let's go. And he obeyed and he listened to the voice of God. And then he went to this teeny tiny church in a hick neighborhood that most people don't go to. And he found me. I don't think that was an accident, because God knew exactly the man I was going to need for this season in my life. He also, in my opinion, picked this family specifically for me, because this family is loving, gentle, kind, compassionate, understanding. They don't question me, they don't judge me, and in fact, all they ever do is talk beautifully about me. And I know a lot of people don't have what I have. And I know how blessed I am. And I try not to take it for granted. I'm not perfect. But I also feel, after having this company this weekend, I also feel that God knew this person was also going to have this illness later in life. And that one day we were probably going to need each other. I just do. I feel like God knew. You're going to need this husband. He has this family. And they're going to need you at some point. It's just how I feel. I don't like suffering. I don't like suffering. I don't like what I'm going through. I beg and pray to God to release me every day. But I also know that having my family, which is beautiful, having my husband's family, which is beautiful, having friends, a lot of friends that I've had since I was little, yay hi to a grasshopper, and all the friends I've met in my chronic illness community, people would say, oh, that's amazing that you have this huge, amazing support system. You must feel, fantastic and this and that inside. And I don't. I feel sad. I feel lonely. I feel scared. I feel depression. Even with all that beautiful support system around me. And so I know that yes, as much as I hate this journey that I'm on, look what God did. He brought my husband to me because he knew he would be good for me. In this season of my life, he knew that he would love me and care for me in the way that God has commanded husbands to love and care for their wife. He also knew that they were going to have a family member that was going to have the exact same illness as me and that they may need me one day. Because this journey is lonely. You can have so many people around you, and the journey, is still very, very, very depressing and lonely. You can never have too many people in your circle. I am blessed, very, very blessed. And I want to share with you that sometimes the things that we're going through for a very long time, we don't know why. We don't understand. We may never even see the outcome of it. But today I saw a very small piece of the outcome of it. And that was because someone in my husband's family is suffering in the way that I am suffering. And I can help them. I don't know what that will look like in the future. I don't. It could just be me laying in my bed and praying every day for that person. But that's needed. It's desperately, desperately needed. Even if it is just prayer. I know the journey is hard. I know the journey is long. I know the journey is sad. But don't discount that God is still using you, even in a bed. I don't like it. I don't want this kind of life. But I feel blessed to know that God loves me enough and says I'm still worthy enough to be used by Him.